I'm Addison Smith.
Hi, I'm Ophelia Jacobson with Campus Reform.
Hey guys, it's Ashley Carnahan with Campus Reform.
We're here at Georgetown University today.
Today I'm at the University of California-Irvine,
asking students what they think about the election. There's been a lot of accusations of fraud, dead people registered to vote, mail-in ballots coming in late, voting machine glitches. So we're going to ask students what they think about all this. Do they trust the results of the election?
Should Donald Trump concede? Let's see what they have to say.
Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below so you can stay up to date on all things campus reform. Let's go.
The polls are currently showing a Biden victory, and many media outlets have already called the race for Joe Biden.
But there's been a lot of objections and accusations of things like voter fraud.
Allegations that people who were dead were registering to vote, the machines were breaking.
Do you trust the results of the election, or do you think that we should do some investigating?
Do you trust the integrity of the election this year?
I think at the point, like the level of like corruption, like failures they're trying to like accuse the system of having is just honestly like ridiculous.
I think the due process needs to be followed. So we shouldn't let the media draw conclusions for us. I mean there's a process established in place for that. So
I do. I mean it was very transparent. There were bipartisan observers, cameras everywhere. So
has this election cycle made you worry about the integrity of the election?
No, not really.
Not really, honestly.
It's difficult to say with how unprecedented all the mail-in ballots were. I thought it was really impressive how quickly a lot of votes were tabulated, and maybe that lends you to believe that there were some interesting practices going on. But overall, I think we can have faith in this process.
I think a couple thousand dead people have been registered to vote in Pennsylvania. Do you think that that's an issue?
It might be an issue.
I think then that is a problem if it is true. I don't know if it's true, but if what you're saying is true, then I think that is a problem. I don't have trust in our president anymore, so when he's constantly going on and on about voter fraud and like mail-in ballots, they are secure. Like, I honestly really don't believe it, and I just want him to get out of office.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the AP has been calling it for 150 years, so I don't think they'd start lying now.
Out of all the democracies, I think we have a pretty good process.
Focusing on the media a little bit, there's been accusations that the media is biased, calling the election before the Electoral College has even voted in December.
Do you have a general trust for the media?
Yeah, especially to the extent that everything is verifiable, yes.
I think it was balanced overall. There's only so many different ways that you can spin like the percentages.
I would not trust the media. No, I think the bias has been pretty clear the last 4 years and even beyond that, right? But to trust them in this matter of all things would be unreasonable.
Yeah, I think they definitely should be taken with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, most of them are for profit.
So now talking about social media, you mentioned Twitter. A lot of companies people have been saying that they're trying to manipulate the election, control the election by fact-checking and allowing certain content to be posted and not.
A lot of people are calling them the big tech oligarchs because they kind of control the flow of information.
Do you trust social media?
Not all of it, because there's bound to be rumors and false information and things like that.
Do you think that the government has any role maybe to play in checking a lot of the censorship that's happening?
Yes, I do think the government should play a role there. Obviously, there's bias in everything, so it's a concern how that might play out. But, there should be an active role to preserve the First Amendment.
I think they totally have the right to censor what they think is wrong.
I'm very glad that they're censoring their tweets and saying, hey, this could be like a fraudulent claim or it's not credible. And so I think that's really nice.
They're private companies, so as far as I'm concerned, they have no stake in that.
Yeah, it is a little bit disconcerting as a believer in freedom of speech that Twitter's maybe going so far to do that.
Would you be in favor of the government getting involved in breaking up big tech like Facebook and Twitter?
Yes, Google has way too big of a monopoly. Like, they literally control the entire internet.
I know both parties have kind of talked about wanting to break up some of those bigger companies, but we'll see.
It's definitely something that needs like way more like legislation.
What gets repeated becomes the truth, right? And so that, to me, that's a little frightening, especially seeing the way censorship has taken place.
So a lot of people have already called the election saying Joe Biden is the president-elect. Do you think that President Trump should concede?
So would you say Trump should concede then?
Yeah, clearly.
Do you think that President Trump should concede?
Definitely. Yeah, it would be very authoritarian if he did.
Do you think Trump should concede, or do you think that he should wait until all the recounts and audits are done?
I really think he should concede.
I think it's pretty clear that the Electoral College is is done and dusted, and the American people have spoken. So I think President Trump should concede, yeah.
I think so.
Well, I mean, he has a right to like want a recount. It's not like you can deny that to him. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure he's going to have to concede because I don't think the recounts are going to amount to anything that's going to change the result.
It's been more than a week since the election. He hasn't conceded, and any major organization in Fox News has called the election for Biden. So I think that's why he should concede. His insultness, not conceding, it kind of seems like sedition at this point in terms of where he's trying to steal the American vote from people.
The due process needs to be played out, right? He should not concede because of mob pressure. You know, that's tyranny. That's popular tyranny, is what that is, and to me, that's not acceptable. That's not what we stand for as Americans and as America. So.
Nah, I think he should concede.
Why?
Oh man.
I'm sorry.
Hey there, my name is Hannah Catherine Smith and I'm with Campus Reform. To continue seeing videos like these, be sure to subscribe here. And if you're interested in becoming a member of the Campus Reform team as an investigator or a correspondent, you can join the team here. And if you'd like to help us continue making videos like these, donate here.